Hey there underwater filmmakers, good to see you back here at the Underwater Filmmaking School for this month channel update. Coming up. Hi and welcome back to the channel update for the month of June here at the Underwater Filmmaking School. There's quite a few exciting things happening at the moment here on the channel, so let's not lose any more time and jump right into the very first topic. In the last channel update, I talked about how excited I was about an announcement made by Panasonic and Atomos that they are coming out with a firmware update for the Panasonic GH5 and the Atomos Ninja V, which would enable those two components, those two pieces of equipment in combination together to record in ProRes RAW. Now, as soon as the firmware updates were available at the beginning of June, I downloaded them, I installed them onto the devices, and I took my GH5S and the Ninja V on a dive to test out the ProRes RAW recording. Now, I've only done one dive so far with it, and I haven't really collected enough data and enough experience to say comfortably whether or not it is worth filming in ProRes RAW underwater, but this is gonna come out in a future video. I'm gonna make a specific video about that topic, and I'll put a lot of comparison footage in there, and I'll share my personal opinion with you in that video, whether or not I think it is advisable, useful to use ProRes RAW when filming underwater, whether or not you're gonna get a noticeable advantage over using the 10-bit or even the 8-bit footage that you can record on the GH5 internally. So if that's something that interests you, make sure to follow this space and watch out for the video that will drop in the next couple of weeks. Not too long ago, we've crossed the 5,000 subscriber mark here on the channel, and I'm eternally grateful to every single one of you for having subscribed to the channel, for supporting the channel and being part of the community that we've got going here at the Underwater Filmmaking School. Now, as mentioned in my last live stream, I do want to give something back to the community as a little thank you for all the support that I'm getting from you. And I've decided to give away one of my online underwater videography courses. Now, for those of you who have been watching this space for a little while, you know that I've been working on online underwater videography courses for quite some time. They are in the finishing stages, and they will be published and launched at the end of August. There's going to be two different courses. One of them is a beginner's course, which is targeted at people that have no experience with filming underwater but would like to get into it, or people that have a little bit of experience, mainly with action cameras and point and shoot cameras. These people get benefit the most from the beginner's course, because it's going to talk about what to look at when choosing an underwater camera system, what's the right system for you. We'll talk about lights, we'll talk about how to create a story, we'll talk about principles of filming underwater, we'll talk about best practices for getting cinematic shots, and a whole lot of other things that we'll talk about in this specific course. The second course, the underwater videography course for advanced shooters, is targeted at people that already have experience filming underwater. People that might have made the switch from a action cam or a point and shoot camera to a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, a camera that has more functions, more options to work with it, and people that might be overwhelmed with how they should actually use all these extra functions on their new camera systems. So in addition to also covering a couple of things that we've covered in the beginner's course, like the principles of filming underwater, the best practices for getting cinematic shots, we'll also talk about why it is important to use your manual modes on the camera, tips and tricks on how to use those modes best. We'll also go a little deeper into the principles of creating an engaging story. We'll talk about storyboards, the importance of storyboards and what should be in those storyboards. And we'll also go a little deeper into the editing part. We'll talk about the whole process from A to Z that you have to go through when editing a project. We'll do that on Final Cut Pro 10, but we'll also do it on Premiere Pro and on DaVinci Resolve. So no matter what editing software you're using, there is going to be a part that will be relevant to your needs there in any case. Both these courses, they will be priced at $198 US, but obviously there is going to be a launch offer as we launch these courses towards the end of August. Now, if you want to make sure that you don't miss that launch offer, or if you want to take part in the competition of actually winning one of these courses, the only thing that you need to do is hop onto my website, matthiaslebo.com/downloads, scroll all down to the bottom, and there is going to be a little section where you can put your name and your email address, submit that, and you will take part in the draw of one of the online underwater videography courses. The draw will happen at the end of July, so you'll still have a little bit of time to enter that draw and your chance to win a online underwater videography course. Now let's talk about live streams. Now we've done a couple of live streams on our channel here already, and the experience that we've made has been really good. And hopefully you guys are getting plenty of information from these live underwater videography talks as well. Now we've decided to have a little break, a summer break, so there's not going to be any live underwater videography talks in July and August, and we'll start with them again in September, probably towards the end of September. As soon as we have a set date, we'll let you guys know, so you can set reminders, making sure you don't miss out on that live underwater videography talk that is going to follow. The topic most likely is going to be something along the lines of how to prepare your equipment before a dive trip. Not entirely sure, but it's probably going to go into that direction. Now there's still going to be a live stream in July, at the beginning of July. Actually this Sunday, the 4th of July, we'll have a very special live stream, because it's not just going to be myself, but I'm going to have a guest, or probably I'll be the guest on his live stream, because it's going to be hosted on his channel. I'm talking about my friend James from Divers Ready. We'll be having a live stream together, and we'll talk about diving in general, but we'll also talk about James's upcoming trip to South Africa to record and capture the sardine run. And I personally really want to know what kind of equipment, what kind of setup camera-wise he's taking with him to be able to capture the sardine run in its best possible way. So the live stream will happen, as said, on July 4th. It will be on James's channel. There is a link down in the video description below to the setup live stream, so you can jump over there, you can set yourself a reminder, make sure you don't miss it. It's going to be 6:00 p.m. Zurich time or noon Miami time respectively. And last but not least, there is a couple of new pieces of gear that we've received from our partners that we can test out and review in the next couple of weeks. From our partner Backscatter, we've gotten their brand new wide macro 4300 underwater video light with all the accessories, the snoot module, the different color filters, all that sort of stuff. I'm really excited to test out that underwater video light and to just see whether or not it is really a perfect travel companion when it comes to the size, the weight, but also the power and the versatility of use. So watch this space for review videos on the new wide macro 4300 underwater video light by Backscatter. We've also received a GoPro Hero 9 also from Backscatter with all the accessories, with the red filters, with the flip filter system that comes along with them, with the macro lens, the macromate. So we'll be testing the GoPro Hero 9 as well extensively, and we'll be comparing it to the Osmo Action and the Paralens camera that I own, and see whether or not this camera, the GoPro Hero 9, performs better than the other two cameras that we have. Another thing that I'm looking forward to test is the Paralens Vaquita. I finally gotten hold of a Paralens Vaquita ProRes has decided to send me one after all, which I'm really happy about, and I'm really curious to see how the Makita compares to their older model, the Dive Camera Plus. So we'll be testing that here in the surrounding waters around Zurich extensively in the next couple of weeks, and we'll publish a thorough review on the ProRes Makita very soon. And last but not least, we've also gotten a housing for smartphones made by the company Dive Folk. And the special thing about this housing is that it's a housing that makes it possible for you to use the touch screen of your cell phone while being underwater. So that means that you can use all the functions of your cell phone while being underwater through the touch screen. This is something I haven't seen before in another underwater housing for smartphones, and I'm really excited to test that out and see how well this system works. Alright, and that's about it for today's channel update. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and for sticking with me to the end. Hopefully I was able to excite you just as much as I am excited about the next couple of weeks and what's gonna come up here on the channel. And if that's the case, please do show your excitement by hitting that like button, letting me know that you're excited for the stuff that will be coming up here on the channel in the next couple of weeks. Thanks again for your time. Happy diving, stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you in the next video.